Hey, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk about LIghtBurns Art Library. If you haven't used it before, I'll show you what it is, how to use it, and more importantly, how to get your file started. I've had several people ask me to help them set up their art library, primarily because they're confused how to initially set it up. So that's what we're going to cover today. If you don't see your art library in your tabs, go ahead and come up here to Window, down to Art Library, and turn that on. Now you'll see it'll show up either in the upper or lower panel. And the way this art library works is you have folders that you name, and within those folders houses your designs. And once you have these uploaded, it's strictly just a drag and drop. So you don't, instead of having to come up here to File, Import, go to your file where that design is housed, and waiting for it to load, you can basically just take this, drag it, and drop it. These are pre-sized, meaning that whatever size you indicate when you upload this to this art library is how it's going to come out. And so I use the art library a lot for things like Tumblr Templates, where I can just drag and I can drop, and now this Tumblr template is pre-sized. I can go ahead and drop my designs in here and go forward. Let's just pick a couple of different things that we can use, and I'll show you how this works. Down here, maybe grab a logo, and maybe a QR code. You can see that I'm just drag and dropping. Now I can resize this, I can flip it, I can do whatever I need to do to any of these designs, and it doesn't change the design within the folder. The other couple of things that I will show you here is you have the ability to increase and decrease your icon size, which is really handy. We'll get down to all of these buttons here in just a minute once I show you how to generate this file. But you can see it's strictly just a drag and drop, and away you go. This is, like I said, once you get used to it and know how it works, this is a very handy tool. So let's go ahead and we'll start from scratch, and I'll show you how to get started in uploading information into your art library. Okay, now that you've got your main file folder generated, that's going to be in a safe spot, that's going to be backed up all the time, it's time to go ahead and start generating your folders within your art library to house your graphics. As long as you've generated your primary folder, the rest of this will be a piece of cake. So what we're going to do is I've got some graphics over here that I want to add to my art library, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to say New, and it's going to ask you, where do you want me to generate this folder? And so you want to make sure that you're in your main file folder that you've already generated. And the first one we're going to do is logo. And you notice that it's a pretty unique file folder. You're not going to view this any other way other than in LightBurn. We're going to say Save. And you can see now that I've got a file folder named Logo. And so the way to go ahead and upload your graphics, you can either import them directly from a file, or if you've got them on your screen, you can go ahead and just select it. And you want to make sure that this is sized properly before you upload it, because when you drag it and drop it on your desktop, it's going to be the size that you uploaded it. So keep that in mind. A great example would be, this is a Tumblr template, and I want to make sure that it's exactly the size that I need before I upload it into my library. So when I drag it back out of here, I don't have to worry about it being the correct size. So if I wanted to go ahead and upload this graphic, I select it. I say Import Graphic from Project, and I name it. And say OK. And now you notice that a small icon shows up, my name shows up, and I have the ability to increase and decrease my icon sizes here. And so I can add as many graphics now under the category of logo as I want. Let's go ahead and generate a couple more. New. And let's say that this would be ID tags. Shows up here. If I would want to upload this little dog bone here, I could go ahead and import. Shows up there. Let's do another one. One more maybe. Okay, so now I've got one graphic loaded in each one of these file folders. And what I'll do is I'll show you what the unload and load buttons do. So let's say that you had a number of categories here with a bunch of graphics, and you were getting cluttered up and you wanted to kind of clean this list up. Maybe you had a big project that you were only going to be using a handful on. You have the ability to unload and load these file folders out of the Art Library tool. So if I didn't want to see my QR codes category anymore, all I would have to do is select it and say unload. It basically just takes it out of the tool. It doesn't delete it from your file folder. All of your graphics are still there. It just basically removes it from the visibility so you can't see it. So if I would go ahead and unload everything but flags, and then later I had some projects that I needed to use the graphics on and I needed to see them again, I would just go into load, and then I can actually select multiple folders and say open, and it reloads them. Once you have these loaded, it's just a drag and drop. And then if you modify this graphic now, it has nothing to do with this graphic. In other words, once you drag it onto your desktop, it's separate, which is very nice. So it's just a matter of dragging and dropping, and away you go. If for some reason you had some graphics in one of your file folders that you didn't want anymore, you can go ahead and hit the delete key and it will get rid of that. It'll ask you, are you sure that's what you want to do? And then it would get rid of that. Now, the only way you can remove these folders is going into the file menu and removing them. You can't remove these folders here. You have to actually go into the file menu and delete it. So anyway, this is a really handy tool that LightBurn's got once you get used to it, especially for the graphics that you're always using, like maybe your logo or certain designs that you're using all the time. This is a quick and easy way to speed up your design process. I hope this was helpful. As always, if you guys would like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Have a great day.